Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the post-match press conference for Nebraska. Before we begin, I just want to remind everyone again that please place your phones on silent, and when asking a question, please wait for the microphone to come to you, and please identify yourself with your name and a media affiliation. Again, we have Nebraska under the direction of head coach John Cook. Also joining us today are Mikaela Foecke, Lexi Sun, and Kenzie Maloney. Reminding you again that we will start with opening comments from Coach Cook, followed by questions for the student athletes. The student athletes will then be dismissed, and we will open it for questions with Coach Cook. So, Coach, your thoughts on the semifinal match this evening?
Well, for us, this was another Big Ten battle. I mean, this is what it was like every week in the Big Ten, and Illinois is a great team. And I mean, they brought out the best in us. I think we brought out the best in them, and it was just a very entertaining, fun match to watch, whether you're a fan, a coach, a player, and crowd got into it. And you know, we were here a year ago in the fifth game, beat Penn State in the fifth. So it's we're used to it, and congratulations to Illinois on a heck of a season. And Chris has done a great job with that team, and so pretty cool.
Okay, we'll have questions for the student athletes now. Please raise your hand, and we'll bring the microphone to you. Down over here.
Brent Wagner from the Lincoln Journal-Star. Kenzie, specific to playing Illinois, what gave you guys belief coming out for the third set that you could win this match?
I mean, it was pretty obvious we were struggling early, so we kind of just said we need a new team to come out in the third set, and we all just dug down deep and genuinely believed that we could do that and turn the match around. And I don't know, we just played with a lot of heart, and it just really came together for us in the third set from then on.
Jeff Sheldon from the Omaha World Herald. Mikaela, can you take me through that video challenge in Game 5? Did you think you got a touch when you initially had the swing, and how were you feeling as the review was going along?
No, I definitely did not think I had a touch. If it wasn't for Lauren, I probably would have told Coach, don't challenge it. But she convinced me, and she had my back, and I guess we won the challenge, so.
In front there, yep, thank you.
Rachel Blount, Minneapolis Star-Tribune. Mikaela, your fans did turn out as you expected they would. Could you hear the Nebraska fans during the match, and particularly when they got very, very loud in the fifth set?
Definitely. The Nebraska fans always bring it, and they always turn out, and I expect a bigger crowd on Saturday, and I think that without their support, obviously it's a huge help for us and a huge momentum builder when you have so many other fans cheering for each other along with us.
Ty Peter on it's coronation.com. Lexi, when you go into the locker room during the intermission, what do your teammates say to you that really gets you ready to go out there? And when your confidence maybe is a little shaky and you go, you know what, I can go out, I can do this. What did you hear from your teammates that helped you come back and really be aggressive in the latter parts of the match?
Right. I think that this season, and especially this tournament, I've been looking up to our captains right here, and I think that obviously they've been in this position before, and they know how it's done and what needs to be done, and I think that we obviously weren't doing that in the first two games, and I think just looking up to them and leaning on them and trusting in them, and like Kenzie said, just coming out as a completely different team than we were in the first two sets. So.
Don Patterson from Dig Magazine. Mikaela, for a fifth game, you were jumping up and down right before it kind of warming up. Do you kind of get energized when you're in a match like that? And do you feel the same energy at 10-10, 11-10 that you might have felt in the first game?
Yeah, I think the first game was definitely a bit down. Obviously, we didn't play our best volleyball the first two sets by any means, and I think that we really made an uphill improvement, and it was really hard, and obviously we struggled throughout different points throughout all sets, and I think that in the fifth set, there was a lot of energy from both teams and from the crowd, and it was just really fun to play in.
Kevin Suits, Channel 1011 in Lincoln. Kenzie, I know you guys have one more match ahead and you want to win that one too, but how do you wrap your mind around the fact that you're going to play in the NCAA championship for a third time in your career?
It's really hard to wrap my head around that. But like I said, I've said it before, I know that this team has believed from the very beginning of our season that we would be here and be in this position, so we're not going to be surprised by anything. But yeah, it's just hard to think that Mikaela and I have been here for 4 years in a row, and I've been honored to play with her and be her teammate for these last 4 years, so hopefully we can end our career on a high note.
Jeff Sheldon from the Omaha World Herald again. Lexi, Mikaela wasn't getting a lot of swings in Game 4, and that was a set that you all needed to win. Did you feel like it was time for you to take over there?
I don't know. I didn't really realize that she wasn't getting set that game, but I feel like at every point I just try to do what I can to help the team in the best way that I can. So if I'm getting those sets, then I'm trying to swing high hands and put the ball away. But yeah, I feel like as a team we did a pretty good job later on in the game as mixing it up as it went on. So
We have time for one more question for the student athletes.
Ty Peteronis, coronation.com. Kenzie, after the way the first 2 sets went, what kind of confidence does it give you going to face an opponent like Stanford, knowing that even if things aren't going your way, the whole team can really come together and push through like they did against Illinois tonight?
Yeah, I don't think that we were playing Nebraska volleyball until the 3rd set, and I said yesterday, if we're playing Nebraska volleyball and focusing on our side and doing the things that we need to do to execute, then I don't think anyone can beat us. So coming out on Saturday playing Stanford, if we're playing our game like we know how to, I think that we'll end up with the win.
All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
thank you.
In just a moment, we'll open up for questions for Coach Cook. Okay, questions for Coach Cook, please raise your hand and we'll bring the microphone to you.
Jacob Myers with NCAA.com. John, if I were to ask you before the game that you'd have 4 blocks against Illinois and come away with the win, would you think that was possible? And then, like, why was it possible?
It's a great question. I was looking at the stats, our block stats, and we take a lot of pride in blocking. It's been a strength. We led the Big Ten in blocking, but Illinois does a great job. Poulter's a great setter, one of the best I've ever seen. She puts those hitters in such great positions that they're hard to block. They hit high off our hands, I got to look at the tape why, but we still outdug them by 1, and when you get to this point, you got to win close games and big points at the end of games, and that's what this team's been doing a great job of the last 5 weeks, 6 weeks. And sometimes it's not stuff blocks, it's you get a touch and control it, and I thought we did an okay job of that. And Illinois covers really well. I mean, we blocked some balls down. I don't know how they got them up, but they cover great.
Brett Wagner from the Journal-Star. John, when you're waiting for the TV interview there after the match and the players had left, what are you thinking after that thing's over?
I don't know. I was just thinking this is a great Big Ten match. It was the best out of 3 against Illinois. It was an honor to play them. It's our, we're used to this in our conference, and it was just a really fun match to watch and watch our team come back. We still got a lot of young players. We have 4 freshmen out there, and those guys, stuck with it and battled. And I've been telling you guys in Lincoln all year, Foecke and Kenzie are great leaders, and they willed that team and they willed those kids to play.
Ty Peteronis, coronation.com. Coach Cook, I'm glad you finished talking about the freshmen, because talk about the maturing process of Nicklin Hames through this season. I mean, there's a lot of times she doesn't look like a freshman out there on the court. What is, you've seen out of her as the years gone on?
Well, she looked like a freshman the first couple games, but she's a great competitor, she's been the first freshman ever to start at Nebraska in the history of the program. And it just shows you what kind of competitor she is and how much belief she has. And she worked her way into that match and did a great job and got us some great swings when we needed it, especially in those last 3 games. I mean, she's fearless. She's fearless.
Don Patterson, Dig Magazine. John, Foecke, for 4 years now, seems to come up so big right at the Final Four and takes incredible swings, bails you out of jams, and serves really well too. Talk a little bit about her impact on the career.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could have the secret to what makes her go. Sometimes I think, why doesn't she play like that all year long? You know, but the best way I can explain it, Don, is that Mikaela has a very deep inner confidence, and she has a deep belief in everything that she does, academically, volleyball-wise, just whatever it is in life. And I think it's part of her upbringing, coming from a farm where you're tough, you don't complain, and you just find a way. And she's got it in her DNA, and she's proven it over and over and over.
Could she be what the national team needs on the left side?
I know Karch would like her to take a shot at that. We'll see. She's problem is she's applied for vet school. She wants to be a veterinarian, and so I think it's tough to get into vet school, and you know, so she's going to have to debate that.
Time for 2 more questions for Coach Cook.
Pat Radigan with Corn-Fed Sports. I asked you at the regional about some of the role players, and Capri comes up with that kill in the 5th set. How big was that swing from her?
Huge, because that rotation was giving us problems because we got matched up with Poulter serving into it. She gave us fits. That's one of the reasons we got blown out in game 2. So we rotated so we wouldn't get Poulter serving into our rotation 1, but she's got to get kills because they're all over Lexi in that rotation, and if we set her the ball, she's got to kill it. And it was a rally we got in, and she got a huge kill. And she's been doing a good job for us.
Final question for Coach Cook.
Gavin Good from Illini Inquirer. Coach, in 2 years for Chris Thomas, getting this team to this point, how would you evaluate the job that he's done at Illinois so far?
Well, I'm not surprised. I picked him to finish 2nd in the conference this year behind Minnesota. You know, he's got 3 great players in Poulter, Quaid, and Bassinelli. I mean, we've been playing those guys, Poulter and Bassinelli, for 4 years now. I mean, they're great players, and he's built a really nice team around them. I mean, Quaid she's as good as any player I've seen all year long. You know, he's developed her, so he's done a fantastic job. He's got a great staff. He's got Jen as a secret weapon, and I'm just, you know, it's kind of a bittersweet match. I mean, I'm glad we won, but it was an honor to play them, and it was represented the Big Ten really well and represented both programs really well. And we're going to continue to have battles like this because he's a very good coach. I don't want to lose him. So.
All right, thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks, you guys.